The shotgun blast echoed through the pines like a thunderclap from hell, splintering the cabin door inches from my face. "Get the fuck out. Both of you," Jackson roared, his voice cracking like dry timber underfoot, eyes wild with a rage I'd never seen in the man who raised my best friend. My Aiden, the one who'd pulled me into this godforsaken weekend getaway, stumbled back, his hand still clutching mine, whispering, "Dad, please, it's not what you think." But the lie hung heavy in the smoke-scented air, because deep down, we both knew it was exactly that. I never figured a simple fishing trip would unravel everything. Aiden and I had been thick as thieves since freshman year at the University of Colorado Boulder campus, where the Flatirons loomed like judgmental gods over our keggers and all-nighters. He was the golden boy, tousled blonde hair that caught the sun like wheat fields back home in Kansas, easy laugh that could defuse a bar fight, and those hazel eyes that lingered just a beat too long on mine during late-night study sessions. Me, Alex Rivera, the scrappy half-Mexican kid from Denver's suburbs, scraping by on scholarships and side gigs at the campus coffee shop. We clicked over shared hatred for organic chem and a mutual obsession with old-school rock climbing vids. But somewhere between belaying each other up sheer granite faces and crashing on his dorm floor after too many IPAs, the air between us thickened. Touches lingered. Jokes turned loaded. And yeah, I'd caught myself staring at the curve of his neck when he stretched after a run, wondering what it would taste like under my lips. "Bro, you gotta come to the cabin," Aiden had said over burgers at the Med, our go-to dive off Pearl Street. "Dad's out of town finally. Just us, the lake, and zero signal. We can finally breathe." His grin was all mischief, but his knee nudged mine under the table, deliberate. I nodded, heart hammering like I just free-soloed a route. The cabin was in the shadow of Mount Evans, a family heirloom from Aiden's mom, passed down before cancer took her when he was 12. Jackson, his dad, was the salt-of-the-earth type, broad-shouldered rancher turned real estate broker, with a mustache that screamed 80s cop shows and a handshake that could crush walnuts. He tolerated me, mostly, invited me for Thanksgiving once, but there was always this undercurrent, like he was sizing me up for something I couldn't name. We piled into Aiden's beat-up Jeep Wrangler that crisp October Friday, the Rockies ablaze in reds and golds. The drive up 70 was pure freedom. Windows down, blasting Fleetwood Mac's Landslide, Aiden's hand drumming on my thigh to the beat. "Remember that time we got lost on the trail above campus?" He laughed, wind whipping his hair. "You swore you'd never hike with me again." I shot him a smirk. "Liar. I'd follow you anywhere, dumbass." His eyes flicked to mine, something electric sparking there, and for a second, I thought he'd pull over, right there on the shoulder with semis barreling past. But he just cranked the volume, and we sang off-key until the asphalt gave way to gravel snaking through aspen groves. The cabin squatted on a bluff overlooking Echo Lake, all knotty pine and stone chimney, with a dock jutting into the water like a promise. We unloaded in record time, cooler stocked with craft beers from Avery, rods and tackle from REI, then cracked open a couple new Gringas on the porch. The sun dipped low, painting the peaks in fire, and Aiden stripped off his hoodie, revealing the lean muscle from years of CrossFit. "Race you to the dock?" he challenged, already bolting. I chased, laughing, the cold air biting my lungs. We hit the water in tandem, cannonballs that sent ripples across the glassy surface. Surfacing, gasping, he splashed me. "You're slow, Rivera," says the guy who almost drowned last summer. Our banter flowed easy, but when our legs tangled underwater, brushing skin on skin. The world narrowed to his breath mingling with mine, inches away. I could have kissed him then, should have. Instead, I dunked him, and we wrestled like kids, bodies slick and close, until exhaustion pulled us onto the dock to dry. That night, fire crackling in the hearth, we roasted marshmallows and swapped stories. Aiden talked about his mom, how she'd bake pies from scratch, filling the house with cinnamon, and his voice cracked just once. I shared about my own dad, the auto mechanic who bailed when mom got sick, leaving me to hold the fort. "You're tougher than you look, Alex," he said, poking the embers with a stick. His gaze held mine across the flames, and the room felt too small, too charged. "What if?" he started, then trailed off, marshmallow dripping onto his knee. I leaned in, heart in my throat. What if what? But headlights sliced the dark outside, tires crunching gravel, and Jackson's F-150 rumbled to a stop. "Shit," Aiden muttered, jumping up. "He's early." Jackson burst in like a storm front, duffel slung over his shoulder, face weathered from windburn. "Boys, thought I'd surprise ya. Deal fell through in Denver. Might as well rusticate up here." His laugh boomed, but his eyes sharpened on us, damp-haired and flushed from the lake. Aiden played it cool, clapping his dad on the back. "More the merrier. Pops." Beers in the cooler. I forced a grin, shaking Jackson's meaty hand, but unease prickled my skin. Over venison steaks sizzling on the grill, talk turned to fishing at dawn. Jackson regaled us with tales of monster trout from his youth, but his glances my way felt probing, like he was peeling back layers. "You two been tight since Boulder, huh? Aiden says you're like brothers." The word landed wrong, brothers, and Aiden's fork paused midair. "Yeah, that best kind of tight." Under the table, his foot hooked mine, a secret anchor. I nodded, swallowing the truth bubbling up. "No, sir. Not brothers. Lovers, maybe, if we'd let it happen." Sleep came fitful in the loft. Aiden snores soft below me in the queen bed. Moonlight filtered through the skylight, silvering the rafters. Around 2 a.m., a creak on the stairs jolted me awake. Jackson, silhouetted, rummaging in the kitchen. I slipped down, barefoot on cold wood. "Can't sleep," I whispered, grabbing water. He startled, then chuckled low. "Ghosts, son. This place is full of 'em." His eyes, shadowed, held a weariness I'd never clocked before. We sat at the scarred oak table, nursing bottles of water like it was whiskey. "Your old man," he said abruptly. "Met him once, back in '98. Trucker convention in Cheyenne." My gut twisted. Dad never mentioned Wyoming trips. "Small world," I managed. Jackson nodded, staring into the dark. "Yeah. Small and full of regrets." He clapped my shoulder, grip lingering. "Get some shut-eye, Alex. Dawn's comin'." But as I climbed back up, his words echoed, a loose thread in the tapestry of this weekend. Morning broke clear and brittle, frost limming the windows. We three headed out at first light, rods slung, vests loaded with lures. The lake mirrored the sky, trout dimpling the surface. Aiden and I took the east shore, casting lines in sync, while Jackson vanished around the bend. "Think he's okay?" I murmured, reeling slow. Aiden shrugged, but tension etched his jaw. "Always been a lone wolf. Mom used to say he carried the weight of the world." We hooked a few rainbows, cheers echoing off the bluffs. But the idol frayed when Jackson returned empty-handed, face like thunder. Line snapped. Figures. Lunch was sandwiches on the dock, PB&J, American as apple pie, and Aiden's hand found mine behind his back, thumb tracing circles. Jackson pretended not to notice, but his mustache twitched. Afternoon brought rock skipping, Aiden and I lobbing flat stones across the water, bets on skips flying. Jackson watched from the porch, nursing a course. "Reminds me of summers here with my buddy," he called. "Closest thing to family I had." Aiden perked up. "Tell us about him, Dad." Jackson's gaze drifted. Name was Riley. Met in the Corps. Nom days. Tough son of a bitch. Saved my hide more times than I can count. He paused, voice thickening. We'd come here after fish, drink, forget the jungle. Aiden pressed. What happened to him? Jackson's jaw set. Life, kid. Life pulls you apart. The silence stretched, heavy as the gathering clouds. I felt it then, a fracture line, invisible but deep. By evening, rain lashed the cabin, wind howling like banshees. We hunkered inside, poker game going south fast. Aiden bluffed big, losing his stack to me, laughing it off with a shove. Cheater, our shoulders brushed, heat blooming. Jackson dealt the next hand, eyes flicking between us. Y'all play it close to the chest, don't ya? The room stilled. Aiden's cards trembled slightly. What do you mean? Jackson leaned back, chair creaking. I see how you look at each other. Like I used to look at Riley. The words detonated soft, but the blast radius was total. Aiden's face drained white. Dad. I froze, pulse thundering. Jackson's expression softened, regret pooling. Ain't no shame in it, boys. Just be careful. Secrets like that, they bury you. He rose, grabbing his coat. Gonna check the generator. Storm's knockin', the door slammed, leaving us in the flickering lamplight, the air thick with unspoken want. Aiden's hand found mine across the table, trembling. Alex, I pulled him up, crashing our mouths together in a kiss that tasted of rain and relief, years of almost igniting. His lips were soft, insistent, hands fisting my shirt as we stumbled toward the loft. Clothes shed in a frenzy, skin on skin under the quilt exploring, gasping, the world narrowing to whispers and sighs. I've wanted this forever, he breathed against my neck. Me too, I confessed, heart full. Outside, thunder rolled, but inside, it was just us, raw, real, unbreakable. Or so I thought. Dawn brought no awkwardness, only lazy grins over coffee. Jackson was already out chopping wood, axe bites rhythmic. We joined him, stacking logs, the three of us falling into an easy rhythm. About last night, Jackson grunted, wiping sweat. Meant what I said. Riley and me. We never got the chance. Don't waste yours. Aiden hugged him fierce, and I saw it, the love threading through generations, flawed but fierce. The day unfolded golden, hike to a hidden waterfall, where Aiden and I stole kisses behind the cascade. Barbecue with Jackson spinning more Riley tales, laughter healing old wounds. But as dusk fell, Jackson pulled me aside by the fire pit. Need to show you something. His voice was gravel. We trudged to the attic, dust motes dancing in flashlight beam. He unearthed a shoebox, faded photos, Dog tags. Letters yellowed with age. Riley, he said, handing a picture. Two young soldiers, arms slung, grins defiant. One was Jackson, unlined, alive. The other. My breath caught. The jawline, the eyes mirrored in my own reflection 1,000 times. No, I whispered. Jackson nodded, slow. Your granddad, Alex. Riley Rivera. My first love. And the reason your dad hates my guts. The world tilted. Aiden's voice echoed from below. Dinner's on. Oblivious. Jackson's hand clamped my shoulder. He never knew. Thought his old man died a hero in country. But Riley came home. To me. We built this life here. Summers stolen. Then your grandma, bless her, found out. Blackmailed him back to Denver. Family duty and all that bullshit. He broke. Alex. We both did. Tears tracked his cheeks. Unashamed. Aiden. He ain't mine by blood. Adopted after your grandma's play. Kept it buried to protect him. But seeing you two? It's like Riley's ghost walking again. I staggered down. Mind reeling. Aiden's smile waiting. How to tell him that his dad, our anchor, was the thread tying my fractured family? That the man who'd raised him was the love my grandpa lost. The secret festering like rot. Dinner blurred, small talk. Forced laughs. Until Aiden caught my vibe. Brow furrowing. You okay? Later. In the loft. I spilled it all. Words tumbling like avalanche. He listened. Pale. Then crushed me in a hug. Doesn't change us. Or him. But dawn brought Jackson's truck idling. Note on the table, gone to Denver. Handle this your way. Love. Dad. Aiden's fists clenched. He runs. Always does. We drove down in silence. The peaks mocking our fragility. Back in Boulder. Life resumed. Classes. Climbs, but the secret gnawed. Aiden withdrew. Shadows under his eyes. What if it's all built on lies? He'd murmur at 3 a.m. I held him tighter, but doubt crept in. One night, post-midterms, he vanished, phone dead, Jeep gone. Panic clawed me. Hours later, campus security found him at Chautauqua, drunk on a ledge, staring at the stars. Felt like falling, he slurred in the ER. I stayed till morning, vowing we'd fight this together. But when Jackson called, voice wrecked, he's like his old man. Breaks easy. Something snapped. You mean Riley? Or you? Hiding behind adoptions and ghosts. Silence. Then click. Weeks blurred into winter's bite. Aiden and I patched with therapy sessions at the student health center. Hikes where we'd scream into canyons. Love deepened. Lazy Sundays tangled in my apartment sheets. His head on my chest. Whispering futures. Grad school. A place in the hills. Jackson sent postcards. Yellowstone. Big Sur apologies in ink. Forgiveness simmered. Not boiled. Then, spring break. Aiden's text. Cabin. All three. End this. Heart pounding. I agreed. The drive up was tense. Snowmelt swelling the creeks. Jackson waited on the porch. Older somehow. Flannel rumpled. No hugs. Just nods. Inside. Coffee brewed strong. I lied. Jackson started. Hands clasped. Not about Riley. About runnin'. After you called. Alex. Confronted your dad. My blood iced. What? Aiden's eyes widened. Jackson exhaled. Tracked him to that shop in Aurora. Told him everything. The affair, the adoption, how Riley begged me to watch over his boy if things went south. Dad's face, Jackson said, crumpled like foil. Blamed me for stealing his father. Said that's why he bolted when your mom got sick. Couldn't face the ghost in the mirror. Tears welled. But he forgave me, Alex. Hugged me like brothers. Said to tell you, be better than us. Love loud. Aiden broke first, sobbing into Jackson's chest. I joined, the three of us a knot of grief and grace. Secrets spilled like rain. Riley's letters read aloud, laughter amid sobs. That night, firelit, Aiden and I danced slow to Springsteen on the old radio, Jackson watching with a soft smile. Proud of you, son, he murmured. Both of ya. Summer scorched Colorado dry, wildfires smudging the horizons like bad tattoos. Aiden and I dove into internships, him at a Boulder startup coding apps for ecotourism, me slinging lattes at a Pearl Street cafe while prepping grad apps for environmental policy at CU. Our rhythm was solid now. Mornings tangled in his off-campus walk-up, the scent of his cedar cologne mixing with fresh-brewed peats. Evenings cliffside, belaying each other up routes in El Dorado Canyon. Trust forged in chalk dust and carabiners. Jackson visited twice, once for a Broncos game in Denver, tailgating with brats and Bud Light, his laugh booming over the mile-high roar, another for a quiet dinner at our place, where he shared more Riley stories, photos spread like relics. He'd have loved you, Alex, he'd say, clapping my knee. Eyes like his stormy, full of fire. Aiden'd roll his eyes, but beam, the wound scabbing over. Still, echoes lingered. I catch Aiden staring at old family albums, finger tracing his mom's smile, wondering about bloodlines. Am I enough? He'd ask in the dark, voice small. I pull him close, murmuring, you're everything. Blood's just biology, but doubt's a sneaky bastard, whispering when you're alone. One July night, post-climb, we hiked the Mesa Trail at dusk, sagebrush whispering, city lights twinkling below like fallen stars. Aiden stopped at a overlook, backpack thumping down. Marry me, the words hung, casual as asking for water, but his eyes were Vegas odds, hope and fear. I laughed, shocked, then kissed him fierce. Hell yes. But let's make it official, rings, vows, the whole American dream. He hooped, spinning me till we tumbled into grass, making love under the Milky Way, fireflies winking approval. Planning kicked off chaotic fun. Venue hunts in the foothills, tasting IPAs at Avery for the reception bar. Jackson insisted on helping, driving up from his new gig in Fort Collins, spreadsheets of caterers on his phone. No Elapin like Riley and me almost did, he'd gruff, but his eyes misted at Tuck's fittings in Cherry Creek. Aiden's mom would have loved this, he'd say, and we'd toast her with mimosas. My own dad? Radio silence since Jackson's visit. I'd left voicemails. Hey, Pops. We should talk. Love you. But the shop's grease hit him deep. August brought heat waves, the kind that baked asphalt to tar bubbles. We escaped to the cabin for a pre-wedding weekend. Just us two, Jackson tied up in a closing. The lake shimmered emerald, bass striking lures like clockwork. Evenings on the dock, feet dangling, we'd dream aloud. House and gun barrel with a yard for rescue dogs. Kids may be adopted, like Aiden, circle complete. Sex was slower now, reverent. His fingers mapping my ribs, my lips tracing the scar on his collarbone from a childhood wipeout. "Forever starts here," he'd whisper, and I'd believe it, the pines nodding amen. But Monday morning, as we packed, my phone buzzed, unknown number. Dad's voice, gravelly from smokes. "Heard about the wedding." From Jackson. "We need to meet." Heart slamming. I agreed, neutral ground. A diner off I-25 in Castle Rock. Aiden drove, hand white-knuckled on the wheel. "What if he flips?" I squeezed his thigh. "Then we flip back." Together. The diner was classic Americana. Vinyl booths, pie under glass, waitress calling everyone hon. Dad slid in opposite, unchanged, work-worn hands, faded Rocky's cap. "No hello. Just, congrats, I guess." Aiden tensed beside me. Small talk stuttered, whether my job, till Dad leaned in. "That secret Jackson dropped? Tore me up. Alex. Thought my old man was a ghost story. Not that." His jaw worked. "Blamed everyone but me for feelin' wrong my whole life. Like I was the mistake." Aiden's voice cut soft. "You're not. None of us are." Dad's eyes flicked to him, softening fractionally. "Kids got your fire, Alex." We talked hours. Riley's letters Dad had found post-confrontation, stashed in the attic, the pain of unspoken legacies. By coffee refills, he hugged us awkward at the door. "Proud of you, son. Bring the family to the shop sometime." Driving away, tears blurred the rear view. "That was," Aiden trailed. "Healing," I finished. And it was. Fall semester loomed, leaves turning crimson. We dove in, me buried in policy papers, Aiden debugging code till his eyes crossed. Weekends were sacred. Farmers market on Saturdays, scooping elk bratwurst and heirloom tomatoes. Sundays hiking flatirons, chasing views. Jackson FaceTimed weekly, updates on his dating app adventures. Met a vet in Loveland. Reminds me of Riley. And wedding RSVPs piling up. Our crew from CU, climbing buddies, baristas, that one prof who'd outed himself at a lecture. But cracks showed. Aiden's startup crunch meant late nights, my thesis advisor riding me hard. One October Eve, after a blowout argument, me accusing him of ghosting, him snapping about pressure, he stormed out. Hours later, bar tab text, "Sorry. Needed air." I found him at the bitter bar, nursing a Sazerac, eyes red. "Scared shitless," he admitted. "What if I fuck this up, like Dad did with Riley?" I slid beside him, arm around his waist. "Then we fix it." Vows mean that. We stumbled home, making up slow and sweet, reaffirming in the morning light. Halloween hit Boulder like a fever dream, costumed hordes on Pearl, ghost bikes and craft brews. We went as Han and Chewie, Aiden's fursuit shedding everywhere. Jackson crashed, dressed as a lumberjack, ironic, and we bar-hopped till dawn, his stories slurring into ours. Back at the cabin for recovery, mandatory post-party ritual, he pulled Aiden aside. "Son, got something for you." In the attic, same shoebox, but now a envelope, legal docs, adoption papers yellowed. "Knew you'd ask someday." Riley's will, left everything to me, but with a clause for you, if you ever wanted truth. Aiden scanned, trembling. "I'm his grandson." Jackson nodded. "Blood and chosen. Best of both." Tears flowed, but joy tinged. That night, around the fire, we burned old doubts in the pit, letters of regret, scribbled fears, flames devouring, stars witnessing rebirth. Winter whispered in early, first snow dusting the peaks. Wedding was set for solstice, cabin transformed, strings of lights twinkling like aurora. Invites went out, Dad confirmed, bringing his girlfriend, a nurse with a laugh like bells. Rehearsal dinner at Jackson's new place in Fort Collins, farmhouse chic. Elk steaks and Pinot from Odell. Toasts flowed. Jackson's, voice cracking on Riley's name. Dad's, awkward but earnest. To loving without apology. Aiden's eyes met mine across the table. Love, pure and fierce. Later, in the guest room, he proposed again. Ring from a jeweler in Aspen. Simple platinum bands etched with coordinates of the lake. Now it's real, he murmured, sliding mine on. I kissed him till breathless. Always was, but fate's a prankster. 2 weeks out, Aiden's startup folded. Funding dried up in the recession whispers. Layoff hit like a gut punch. He moped for days, blaming himself. Can't walk down the aisle of failure. I dragged him climbing Eldo in the freeze, ice tools biting rock. Success isn't a job, babe. It's us. Jackson drove up, box of Riley's journals in tow. Read this, he said, handing one. Pages chronicled loves lost, dreams deferred, a soldier's heart laid bare. He failed plenty, but loved through it. Aiden devoured them, emerging lighter. Dad called too. Shop slow, but we're eaten. Weddings trump wallets. Gratitude swelled. Family, stitched from frayed threads, holding strong. Solstice Eve, snow blanketed the drive up. Cabin glowed, lanterns strung, friends arriving in 4x4s. Rehearsal was chaos. Vows mumbled, cake toppled but laughter ruled. Dinner under heated tents, venison, wild rice, toasts that blurred eyes. Jackson pulled me aside post-feast. Riley'd say you're the fix we never got. His hug was bone crush. Aiden and I snuck to the dock. Lake iced at edges. Stars carpeted overhead. Ready? He asked, breath fogging. Born for it, we kissed, sealing fate. Dawn broke powder blue, guests stirring to coffee and carols. Ceremony at noon, arch of pine boughs, officiant a queer rabbi from Denver. Vows exchanged, rings glinting. In sickness, health, secrets and truths. Kiss sealed it, cheers erupting. Reception raged, band from CU, dances till boots wore thin. Jackson and Dad slow danced with dates, grinning like kids. Aiden and I cut cake, chocolate stout, decadent, fed bites smeared with frosting laughs. Honeymoon whispered, cabin extension, just us, world locked out. But as fireworks popped over the lake, courtesy of a buddy with permits, shadow crept. Aiden's phone buzzed, ignored. Later, in bed, he confessed, boss called. Offer in Seattle big tech. Reset. My stomach dropped. He nodded, torn. Dream job. But you, us, talk stretched till moonset. Compromise dangling, remote, long distance. Dawn brought decision, try it. Excitement edged fear. January bit hard. Seattle's drizzle a far cry from mountain sun. Aiden flew first. Apartment hunt via Zoom. I rapped Boulder, thesis defended. Job at a nonprofit landed. Visits blurred. Me in gray skies. Him in flannel. Him in snowstorms. Me waiting. Love held. But strain showed, time zones, missed calls. Jackson mediated, weekends at the cabin bridging gaps. Riley and me managed oceans, he'd remind. Dad too. Visits to Seattle. Shop talk easing Aiden in. Spring thawed doubts. Aiden's project soared. App for urban green spaces. My policy work aligning. We synced visits. Cabin our North Star. Summer reunion. Drive cross-country in the Jeep. Route 70 to 90. Detours for diners and dawns. Back home. Proposal redux. Vows renewed lakeside. Just us. Secrets, buried deep. Fuel for growth. But autumn winds carried whispers. Aiden's promotion meant travel. Conferences in Austin. Seth. One night. Post-call. Static crackled. Miss you. But this is right? Always. Yet, in quiet, I wondered, could love outrun ambition's pull? By October, the strain had woven into our daily fabric, subtle as a frayed seam, but there if you looked. Aiden thrived in Seattle's tech bubble. Hackathons at Pike Place, networking mixers where venture capitalists slung terms like disruptive scalability over pour-overs from Slate. His texts buzzed with wins, a feature launch, team shoutouts, but laced with ache. Wish you were here for the view from Cary Park. Rain's romantic without you. I'd reply from my cubicle in Boulder's eco-firm, staring at spreadsheets on carbon offsets. Soon. Cabin weekend? We'd meet midway. Wyoming's windswept plains a neutral zone for hurried hotel romps and heart-to-hearts over bison burgers at local joints. Jackson noticed first, during a FaceTime from his Fort Collins porch. Grill smoke curling. Boy looks peaked, he grunted after hanging up. Y'all need a reset. He wasn't wrong. Aiden's laughs came shorter. His climbing vids, sent from REI's Seattle store, showed grip slips on indoor walls. My own nights stretched long, scrolling his Insta stories of Emerald City sunsets, jealousy nipping at contentment. Dad called from the shop. Heard you're playing long distance. Sucks, kid. Your mom and me tried it once, trucker runs. Ended in flames. Not helpful. Pops. But his follow-up, come by, bring tools, fix something together, was. Weekends in Aurora became ritual. Wrenching on his Chevy, oil under nails, stories of Riley's grease monkey youth mirroring mine. Love's like an engine, he'd say, torquing a bolt. Tune it regular, or it seizes. Thanksgiving pulled us east, Seattle to Denver. Flights a gauntlet of turkey sandwich delays. Cabin for the clan. Jackson hosting. Turkey brined in craft ale. Sides from scratch. Dad arrived with his nurse. Linda warm pie. Warmer hugs. Aiden and I chopped wood in the chill. Axes biting in tandem. Steam rising from brows. This, he panted. This is home. I nodded, but noted the shadows under his eyes, the way his swing faltered. Dinner was feast and farce. Jackson's mustache dripping gravy. Dad's bad jokes landing flat. Linda's stories of ER absurdities lightning air. Toasts circled. Gratitude for blood chosen. Loves reclaimed. Later, pie by fire. Aiden leaned into me. Miss this. Miss us. Whole. I kissed his temple. Then let's fix it. Post-holiday. Resolve hardened. We plotted over eggnog. Me applying for remote policy gigs. Him scouting Boulder openings. No more coasts apart, we vowed, sealing with cider-spiked kisses. January brought snowpocalypse. Boulder buried. Seattle slick. Virtual dates sustained. Netflix parties synced. Virtual climbs on apps mocking real granite. But February's full moon. A cabin getaway beckoned. Jackson's gift. Keys overnight. We drove up Friday. Chains rattling. Arriving to drifts hip-deep. Shoveling the drive turned playful. Snowballs flying. Aiden's aim truer than mine. Inside. Fire roared. Stew simmering from Jackson's recipe. We ate cross-legged on the rug. Wine loosening tongues. Remember the shotgun night? Aiden chuckled, referencing that explosive first confession. I groaned. How could I forget? Thought we'd die. Laughter faded to gravity. That fear. It's back, he admitted. Work's ramping, Asia trip next month. Feels like driftin'. I pulled him close. Anchor here. With me. Bed that night was reclamation. Slow undressing by firelight. His skin goose-bumped under my palms. Breath sinking like waves. You're my constant, I whispered, tracing his jaw. He arched, eyes locking. Promise me whatever we navigate. Dawn found us tangled. Coffee brewing. Plans sketched on napkins. Joint applications. Compromise cities like Bend or Bozeman. Optimism bloomed. Fragile as crocuses. March thaws brought green shoots. Aiden's Asia jaunt, Tokyo, Singapore, yielded stories of neon nights and ramen reveries, but homesick calls at odd hours, jet lag's a bitch. Dreaming of your tacos. I cooked virtual ones, FaceTiming the sizzle. My remote pitch-landed hybrid role, 2 weeks a month in Seattle. Elation surged. We booked flights, cabin interludes. April showers mirrored tears. Linda's chemo started. Dad's voice cracking on updates. We rallied. Aiden coding a symptom tracker app pro bono. Me lobbying for grants. Weekend in Aurora. Hospital runs with Dad. Jackson hauling pies. Family's the fix, he'd mutter, echoing Riley. May exploded wildflowers across the Front Range. Aiden visited. Job interview at a Boulder cleantech firm, green energy. His passion. Nerves jangled. We prepped on Flagstaff hikes. Scripts memorized amid ponderosa shade. Nail it, I coached, belaying him up a bouldering problem. He did, offer extended over IPAs at Sanitas. Jubilation. U-Haul booked. Seattle sublet. Packing montages, boxes labeled kitchen, tacos forever, filled Insta, friends cheering. Jackson threw a send-off barbecue in Fort Collins. Ribs smoking, band jamming covers. Dad grilled Aiden on metrics. What's your burn rate, son? Earning eye rolls and hugs. June's heat wave tested the move. U-Haul overheating on 70. Detours to diners for AC breaks. Unloading in our new rental. A craftsman in Mapleton Hill. Porch swing creaking, felt like a rival. First night. Pizza on the floor. Boxes towers. Lovemaking amid chaos. Home. Aiden sighed. Head on my chest. Work synced seamless. His code fueling my policies. Collaborations sparking. Cabin weekends resumed. Fishing derbies with Jackson, who dated steady now. Professor with kind eyes. Riley to prove, he'd wink. July 4th boomed patriotic. Fireworks over Boulder Reservoir. Us on a blanket. Hands linked. But under the sparkle, Aiden fidgeted. Boss mentioned expansion. DC office. My gut nodded. We just settled. He backpedaled. Just talk. Trust frayed slight. But summer mended. Road trip to Moab. Arches reds a bomb. Canyoneering flushing fears. Back. Dad's shop expansion, New Bay. My hands dirty again, grounded us. August dog days dragged. Aiden's DC whispers grew. Leadership track. Meetings with suits. Arguments simmered. Me accusing ambition of selfishness. Him defending dreams. Not leaving you, just leveling up. Nights cooled. Beds wide. Jackson sensed. Inviting a boys' weekend at the cabin. No agendas, just rods and reels. We fished dawn to dusk. Trout grilling over coals. Evenings, beers cracked. He shared Riley's journal entry. Love ain't static. It's the current carrying you. Aiden softened, hugging his dad. Sorry for the distance. Drive home. Hand in mine. We'll talk it out. September leaves turned. Equinox balancing light. Counseling at a queer center in Denver, neutral ground. Therapist with a climber's build. Sessions unpacked. Aiden's adoption scars fueling overachievement. My dad's abandonment echoing in cling. Breakthroughs came slow. Vows renewed lakeside. Rings twisted as talismans. October's chill brought harvest. Pumpkin patches with Jackson. Hayrides laughing off rust. Dad's wedding gift. A restored '72 Chevy pickup. Riley's old ride. Arrived towed. Keys in our palms. Drive it like you mean it, he gruffed. November rains lashed. Mirroring moods. Aiden's DC offer formalized, relocation package gleaming. Ultimatum hung unspoken. Cabin summit called all for us. Jackson. Dad hashing over stew. Voices rose. Dad on roots. Jackson on Riley's regrets. Don't repeat our mistakes, he pleaded. Aiden teared. Want both, love and legacy. Dawn decision. Defer DC. Hybrid pilot. 3 months Boulder. 1 DC. Compromise bittersweet, but binding. December snows blanketed fresh starts. Holidays at the cabin. Tree trimmed with Riley's ornaments. Lights twinkling truths. NYE countdown. Aiden's toast. To currents carrying us home. Kiss at midnight. World writing. But January's frost cracked foundations. Aiden's pilot soured. DC demands bled into Boulder weeks. Calls curt. One blizzard night. Cabin refuge. Storm raging. Power out. Candles flickered. We huddled. Truth spilling. Scared of losing me to the grind, I confessed. He wept. Scared of settling for less. Jackson's axe outside chopped rhythm. Provision. Persistence. Morning clear. Resolve. Quit the hybrid. Full Boulder. DC remote. Firm agreed. Relief washed. Spring 2026 bloomed resilient. Aiden's app launched. National Parks Arkansas guides. My policies integrating. Cabin anniversaries marked milestones. First fight framed as growth. Secrets as strengths. Jackson's wedding to the professor small. Lakeside us best men. Vows echoing ours. Dad danced with Linda. Cancer in remission. Life looping. Yet, summer solstice eve. Shadows stirred. Aiden's phone lit late. Congrats on the pitch from a DC colleague. Heart emoji trailing. Jealousy flared, irrational, but real. Confrontation brewed. Who's that? Just work. Trust tested. But therapy tools blunted edges. Weekend away, Telluride trails. Hot springs soak rebuilt bridges. Fall's palette painted forgiveness. October full moon. Cabin full circle. Riley's journals closed. New ones begun. Our story, co-authored. November's chill whispered winter's approach. But warmth held. Love's layered. Legacies lived loud. Winter 2026 clamped down hard, the kind of cold that seeped into bones and bred cabin fever even in Boulder. Aiden and I hunkered in our Mapleton Hill nest, the craftsman groaning under snow loads, but our routines, cozy as a wool blanket, kept the chill at bay. Morning started with his espresso pulls on the new machine, wedding gift from his startup pals, steam fogging windows as we planned the day. Him to the cleantech office on Walnut, me zooming policy briefs from the home office nook. Afternoons overlapped. Lunch runs to the kitchen for bison burgers, quickies on the couch when schedules synced. Evenings were sacred. Fire in the insert stove, takeout Thai, binging Ted Lasso marathons where we'd quote lines till tears streamed. Believe, Alex, he'd tease during my low moments, post-meeting frustrations. I'd counter with a tackle, pinning him to the rug. Only in you. Jackson's nuptials had sealed the season's joy. His prof bride, Elena, a botanist with wild curls and a laugh like wind chimes, fitting seamless into our fold. Their honeymoon in Costa Rica yielded postcards of sloth selfies. Jackson's scrawl, Riley's smilin' down. Back, they hosted potlucks in Fort Collins, Elena's greenhouse salads pairing with his elk chili. Dad and Linda joined often, her remission a quiet miracle, his shop thriving with EV conversions, irony noted, given Riley's gas guzzler love. Family dinners swelled. 7 now, toasts toasting abundance. But February's thaw unearthed old fault lines. Aiden's app hit a snag. Beta bugs crashing user sessions, investor heat rising. Stress etched his face. Late nights at the desk glowing blue. It's fine, he'd mutter when I'd rub his shoulders. Knots like river rocks. I pushed back. Policy conference in DC loomed, my first solo since the hybrid debacle. Go kill it, he encouraged, but his kiss goodbye at DIA held too tight. Flight east was smooth, United Club eggs and Bloody Marys, but hotel solitude amplified doubts. Texts pinged, miss your snoring. Bugs squashed, his replies lagged. Then investor dinner ran long. Love you. Followed by a DC contacts tag, great pitch tonight. From that same colleague, the one with the heart emoji history. Paranoia bloomed like mold. DC days blurred. Panels on climate accords. Schmoozing at the Willard. But nights scrolled Insta, her posts of rooftop bars. Aiden's like buried. Call home. Who's Mia? Casual, but edged. Colleague. App collab. Voice neutral, but static hummed. Back in Boulder. Air thickened. Saw the pics. Cozy, he sighed. Laptop closing. It's work, Alex. Trust me, I did mostly. But seeds planted roots. March Madness bracketed our tension. Boulder bars buzzing CU tourney runs. Us splitting tabs at Dark Horse. Beers bittering arguments. One tipsy night. Post upset. Remember Seattle? Felt like this drifting. He recoiled. That again? We're solid. Fight escalated. Me hurling abandonment fears. Him accusing control. Door slam. Couch exile. Morning regret. Coffee peace offering. Apologies layered like strudel. Therapy, he suggested. We booked new counselor. A trans vet with hiker's legs. Sessions dug deep. Aiden's adoption fueling imposter drive. My dad's ghost breeding vigilance. Breakthrough. Shared journal. Entries swapped like love letters. Fears voiced. Gratitudes tallied. April showers washed clean. We hiked Enchanted Mesa. Wild Iris nodding approval. Cabin weekend sealed. Jackson and Elena joining for trout fry. Dad's truck rumbling up with Linda's cobbler. Laughter echoed. Bonds retied. May's bloom brought opportunity knocks. My firm pitched a national grant, sustainable AG in the plains, requiring Midwest travel. Aiden's app rebounded. V2 launch party at Techstars. Tag team it, we joked, calendars syncing like gears. But June's solstice eve, cabin tradition, twisted. Driving up, radio crackled a story. Queer vet's memoir unearthed. Riley's unit mentioned hidden loves in foxholes. Heart tugged. We detoured to Fort Collins. Elena's archives yielding a letter. Riley to Jackson. Post-war miss our lake. Come claim it. Tears on the dash home. Our turn, Aiden said, hands squeezing. July heat peaked with a betrayal spark. DC conference redux, mine this time, but Aiden tagged for his app's East Coast beta. Hotel shared. Capitol views romantic. Dinners dazzled. Founding farmers farm to table. Whispers over wine. But third night, investor gala. Mia there, sleek in emerald, arm linking Aiden's for photos. I clocked it from across the room. Her laugh too bright, his posture too open. Later, bar tab, drinks on me, team win, jealousy ignited. Hotel hall confrontation. What's with her? Networking, but his eyes dodged. Bed cold. I crashed on the lounge. Dawn flight home separate, me first class fuming. Him economy stewing. Boulder landing. Silence greeted. His Jeep gone. Text. Need space. Cabin. Heart plummeted. Paced. Calling Jackson. He's spiraling. Drive up solo. Snowless but stormy inside. Cabin dark. But loft light glowed. Aiden on the dock. Rod idle. Lake black mirror. Came to think. Voice raw. I sat. Feet dangling. About Mia? He flinched. She's persistent. Flirty emails. That dinner. Admission gut punched. And nothing happened. But tempted. The pull ambition. Escape. Tears tracked. From what? Us. He turned. I storm. From failing you. The hybrid wrecked me. Felt like settling. Hours unspooled. Truths bared like veins. His fear of Riley's fate. Love's lost to duty. Mine of Dad's bolt. Echoes in every goodbye. Betrayed myself, he whispered. By doubting. Dawn broke. Arms entwined. Fight for us, I urged. He nodded. Fierce. Back in Boulder. Mia blocked. Professional email only. Therapy doubled down. Boundaries etched. August's dog days tested resolve. At V2 soared. But fallout lingered. Mia reassigned. Rumors swirling. Aiden's confidence cracked. I rebuilt with date nights. Picnic at Celestial Seasonings. Tea tastings turning to stargazing. Jackson mediated. Lies kill slower than bullets. Dad's shop visit. Wrenching therapy. Oil smoothing edges. September equinox balance scales. Harvest moon hike. Chautauqua to Flagstaff. Aiden's pack heavy with Riley's compass. Direction, he said, gifting it. Love rekindled slow. Touches tentative. Then torrent. October's chill brought closure. Letter to Mia, boundaries, firm. Response, apology, space. November rains rinsed remnants. Thanksgiving redux, cabin full. Elena pregnant announced. Joy doubling. Toasts to trials turned triumphs. December's lights twinkled hope. NYE cabin. Countdown with clan. Aiden's vow. No more drifts. Winter wrapped us tight. January's frost forged steel. Couples retreat in aspen. Snowshoeing souls bare. February's thaw. My grant funded. Aiden's keynote at CES. March bloomed unbreakable. But April fool's cruel. Anonymous email screenshots. Aiden Mia texts. Flirty from months back. Heart shattered. Confrontation. Before the block? He paled. Stupid. Ended it. Rage boiled. Betrayal. Door out. Streets blurring tears. Jackson's call. Hear him. Cabin mediation. Aiden broken. Begging. Worst mistake. Feared losing you. Pushed away. Forgiveness. Raw wound. Weeks no contact. Therapy solo me unpacking trust's tomb. May's wildflowers wilted in waiting. Aiden's gestures piled. Letters daily. Cabin keys left. Wildflowers on porch. Dad's advice. Riley forgave worse. Choose. June solstice. I drove up. Him waiting dockside. I'm done running, he said. Embrace. Salt and surrender. Rebuild. We vowed. Summer healed. July's heat joint therapy. Boundaries iron. August solstice. Renewal ceremony. Lakeside. Just us. Rings recast with engravings. Currents converge. September's palette. App success. Policy wins. Love layered. October's moon. Jackson's baby news. Boy. Riley named. November's thanks. Clan expanded. December's close. Year of fractures mended. Stronger seams. 2027 dawned crystalline. The Rockies shedding winter's shroud like an old skin. Aiden and I emerged from our rebuild leaner. Wiser. Love not a fragile vase, but a riverbed, carved deep by floods. Mornings in the craftsman now hummed with intention. His espresso ritual paired with my journaling, pages filled with gratitudes amid the grind. Work flourished. Aiden's app ecosystem expanding to EU markets. Virtual tours of the fjords syncing with my transatlantic policy summits via Zoom. Dates intentional. Wednesday wanders through Boulder's Farmers Market, sampling goat cheese and plotting garden plots. Friday films at the Dairy Center, his hand in mine through plot twists. Jackson and Elena's bundle arrived March, little Riley Jackson Hayes. Red-faced howler with Aiden's hazel stare. Hospital vigil. Us pacing halls. Dad cracking dad jokes to Elena. Linda knitting booties. First hold. Aiden teared. Cycle complete. Weekends shifted to Fort Collins. Diaper disasters and dawn feeds. Our godparent duties earnest. Teaches patience. Aiden quip. Burping the squirm. While I'd rock him to Coltrane. Echoes of lullabies mom sang me. Spring's thaw mirrored inner blooms. Therapy tapered. Toolkit packed. Weekly check-ins. Safe words for stress spikes. May's lilacs perfumed a milestone. 5-year anniversary from that shotgun night. Cabin surprise. Jackson orchestrated. Elena catering farm fresh. Dad towing the Chevy gleaming. Dinner under stars venison. Viognier. Stories circled. Riley's ghost now guardian. Not haunt. Post-feast. Dockside. Aiden knelt anew. Through betrayals and beyond. Marry me again? Laughter tears. Yes whispered. Vows casual. Picnic blanket. Wildflowers crown. Rings eternal. June's solstice sun baked bold. My grant morphed mega. Federal backing for plains rewilding. Road trips to Nebraska co-ops where Aiden demoed apps for farmers. Dust-choked days ended in motel twilights. His head on my shoulder. Partnership pinnacle. July's heat wave tested. Wildfire smoke choking skies. Evac alerts pinging. Cabin fortified, go bags packed. But we stayed put. Community watches via next door. Post blaze. Ashes fertilized resolve. Donation drives. Aiden's code for evac maps. My policies pushing prevention funds. August's dog days dragged legacies forward. Dad's shop hit crossroads, retirement whispers. Linda's wanderlust tugging south. Arizona? He'd muse over auroras. We countered. Cabin co-op, summer you. Winter us. Compromise brewed. Part-time lease. Tools shared. September equinox. Harvest fair in Longmont. Us judging pies. Aiden biased for Elena's berry. Little Riley gurgling in a carrier. October's palette-painted piece. Foliage drives up 119. Leaves crunching under tires. Hands linked over gearshift. November's chill ushered gratitude. Thanksgiving epic. Cabin stretched with extensions. Loft bunk for kids. New deck for toasts. Table groaned. Turkish delight from Elena's heritage. Dad's smoked brisket. Our contributions, taco bar fusion. Stories swapped. Betrayals as backstory. Now ballast. Little Riley's first solids. Mashed yams. Smeared chaos. Laughter loud. Post-feast hike. Snow-dusted trails. Aiden carrying the babe. Me scouting paths. Full circle, Jackson murmured. Arm around Elena. December's lights twinkled triumphs. NYE cabin redux. Clan countdown. Fireworks legal this time. Aiden's toast. To secrets surfaced. Loves endured. Kiss at zero. World anew. 2028 unfurled ambitious. Aiden's app acquired Google Fold. Equity windfall. Options, he pondered. Startup solo or corporate climb. We tabled for Moab escape. Canyoneering catharsis. Repels mirroring risks. Decision. Launch in eco trails. Queer-inclusive outdoor tech. Cabin HQ. My firm promoted lead on national resilience. Travel tempered by home tethers. Spring brought sprouts. Garden in the craftsman yard. Tomatoes twining with chiles. Aiden's green thumb surprising. May's anniversary hike. Enchanted Mesa Redux. Picnic echoing proposals. June solstice. Echo beta launch. Beta testers from CU crew. July's heat. Dad's Arizona jaunt. Us caretaking the shop. Wrenches welding us closer. Riley'd grin. He'd say via satellite. Golfing with Linda. August betrayal scar itched faint. Mia resurfaced in news. Her startup folding. Apology email archived unread. Aiden's reflection. Gift. That pain sharpened us. September's equinox. Little Riley's first steps. Fort Collins party. Wobbly toasts. Our cheers loudest. October's moon waxed full. Cabin full. Extended fam. Stories spun. November thanks. Harvest of health. Elena pregnant again. Dad's checkups clear. December close, year of yields. 2029 deepened roots. Echo soared. South by Southwest spotlight. Aiden keynoting Austin. I shadowed. Policies pitching beside. Back. Boulder burgeoned. Adoption talks whispered. Fostering first. Riley's way. Aiden nodded. Agency meets earnest. Spring's renewal. First foster placement. Twin boys. From Denver group home. Chaos charming. Bunk beds built. Trails taught. Jackson mentored. Blood chosen. Remember. Summer solstice. Cabin campout. Esmores and stars. twins wide-eyed. July's heat. Dad's return. Shop sold, proceeds to trust for the boys. August's days. Family hikes. Bonds braiding. September equinox. Twins' first school year. Lunches packed with love notes. October's chill. Adoption finalized. Courthouse quiet. Cake loud. November thanks. Table fuller. Toasts teary. December's lights. NYE with 8 now. Countdown chaotic joy. 2030 bloomed boundless. Aiden's Echo Global. Apps in 50 tongues. Queer Coders Crew. My resilience role. UN advisor. Trips balanced by home. Fosters grew. Twins thriving. Soccer stars. Spring circle. Little Riley's 3rd birthday. Cabin piñata bash. May's hike. Full fam. Paths parallel. June solstice. Vows village. Community queer. Allies all. July's heat. Dad's remarriage. Small. Arizona sunset. Us flying south. August's days. Elena's girl birth. Hazel. Hazel-eyed like Aiden. September equinox. School starts. Stories shared. October's moon. Reflections 30 now. Scars silvers. November thanks. Abundance acknowledged. December's close. Year of yes. Years layered like aspen bark. Trials to tapestries. Betrayals. Backstory bricks. Secrets. Shared strengths. Love. The lake. Deep. Reflecting skies. Currents carrying kin. 50. Cabin porch rockers creak. Us graying. Hands veined but linked. Grandkids chase fireflies. Echoes of our youth. Jackson gone a decade. Heart. Peaceful. Elena visits. Stories sustaining. Dad and Linda snowbird eternal. Calls crackling laughs. Dusk falls. Aiden's head on my shoulder. Worth every storm. I kiss his temple. Every current. Stars will. Secrets silent. Love loud. American as the pines. Enduring.